Welcome back guys to my channel, Dave Travels and Rides, and today we are going to be bike checking our 3 hardtails. Yes. Okay, so we're going to move on to our first hardtail, which is the Giant Ecstasy. The Giant Ecstasy, this is a aluminium frame. It's a super light aluminium frame that is designed by Giant. It is also a limited edition. It's alloy SL fluid form, which is lighter than most alloys. This is a 2014 Giant Ecstasy. It's an S size, small size. And we're going to move on to the specs, which is first we're going to move on to the cockpit. The cockpit consists of specialized grips and also race face handlebar, which is an alloy handlebar. The size of the handlebar is 720mm in length, and we have we call it a gravity light stem. It's an unpopular stem, but it's good. This is my mom's bike, by the way, if I haven't outlined that, and it's a very light bike. We have a Shimano Dairy brake sets here in the levers. And also we have some Shimano rotors and also their brake pistons. We have our front shock, which is the fork. The fork that this bike uses is a RockShox SID carbon shock. So, it's a carbon shock. You actually don't have much carbon shock these days. Mostly Fox has released its 38 and but this is a 2014 shock. It's a RockShox SID. It's 120mm in travel, and it's a good shock for XC and road bikes. Yeah. Moving on, we're going to go to the group sets. The group set that we use now is Shimano XT, Dairy XT. But this one is not full Shimano because it only includes the cranks, which you can see, and also the sprocket, and also the rear derailleur or RD. Moving on, we have crank rudder pedals, and yeah, that's it. We have a specialized seat post here. It's 31.6mm in diameter, and also body geometry specialized saddle. Yeah. And here we have a little touch, which is a cat eye speedometer. It also has a heart rate monitor and also a range monitor. It's very cool bike. And we have a Bontrager cup holder here for our drinks and everything like that. Yeah, so this is the Giant Ecstasy bike. Moving on, we're going to be talking about the wheel set. The wheel set that we use is a DT Swiss E540. Sorry, we use a 2.0 inch tire because it's very light. Although it doesn't have maximum protection, but it's pretty good. It's a fast and light cross-country tires. Okay, moving on, which is the hubs. The hubs is a Fast Ace. Yeah, it's a Fast Ace. It's it's a very good hub. And also in the front we have the SRAM X9 hub, which is also a very good hub. Moving on to the next bike, we have the Monrider Vantage, which is the newest one. So the Moonraker Vantage is a 2018 variant. It's pretty new, and it has all the update components in there. So, but I want to outline one thing about Moonraker. This is an S-size bike, but it feels like an M-size bike, which is bigger than I would actually ride. But it's a very good bike for XC, and I would take this to some trails that is compatible with this. This is a hardtail, and it's very, very rough. In front here, I have a Fox 34 stanchion with 140 millimeters of travel, which is a very good one. And it is the 2018 variant also. And I get it off used at GS Bikes. This is a very good shop, still very good. And it is the highest one, which is the consumer code G9. Yeah, it's very good. And moving on to the cockpit, we have Fat Boy Fun front handlebar, which is a 35mm in size and about 740mm in length. The stem I use is still a Patrol. This is moved from my old bike, which is the Patrol 671, and this is a 50mm long stem. And yeah, as you can see, I stretched it out a bit. Then we have some OD grips. These are nice grips, very, very, very sticky. And then, oh yeah, the one that I outline is basically the brake sets. These are actually enduro brake sets. So maybe you guys want to ask, why did I actually install an enduro brake set in this hardtail? So yeah, I want to shred hard with this hardtail. That's why I installed enduro brakes. And this brake actually came from the Moonraker Summum, which there will be an update in my Instagram for the specs, of course. Yeah, it's very good. And moving on from all this, we've got some another control panel here, which is the control panel or the controller for our what do you say? Dropper seat post. Yeah. So this is a dropper seat post from Fun. It's an up and down. It's a moderate good standard dropper seat post. It's very good. There's a slight, oh, there we go. It's kind of hard, but it's good. It's good for long rides, and you can actually use this in a pump track, which is very good. I like it a lot. And you can use this for XC and trails. Yeah. The saddle. The saddle I use is a WTB Volt 142. It's an enduro saddle again. Moving on to the group set, we have Shimano Dairy XT. It's the newest version. This is the newest group set that came out on Shimano, and they recently actually gave the news of the launch in their Instagram. So yeah, let's get right into it. This is a XT 12 speed group set. It's the newest one, so it's a 1x12 speed, and it's 10x50T, and it's very, very, very fast. And this group set is actually a racing group set. So next we're going to move on to the wheel sets. I have this Maxxis high rollers, front and rear, and also a good wheel set. The wheel set is a D2 Swiss EX 15.01 spline. It's an enduro wheel set, which actually is moved from the Patrol 671. Okay, moving on to the next bike, which is, we can say on the right, which is my dad's bike. It's the 2012 Scott Scale 4.0. Yeah, this is actually one of the lightest bikes in our fleet. This bike actually came from Singapore. It actually came from Singapore, so we actually got this bike. So when my dad actually asked about the bike, they said they didn't have stock in Indonesia. Then they actually called the retailers in Singapore, and they say that they have still have one stock. And yeah, we were lucky enough to get this last Scott Scale 4.0. Yeah, and moving on to the cockpit, we have a Sky Pilot stem right here. Actually, not Sky stem. It's a handlebar. It's a pilot stem handlebar, specialized pilot. Scott Pilot, I mean. And it is 720mm in length. That's why it's pretty short, because it's XT based. And we have installed the newest OD grips here. Before, it runs on specialized grips, if I'm not mistaken. They are red and they match actually the hubs and the wheel sets. And then we are going to move on to this big controls, which is the brake levers. These are the Avid, Strum Avid. These are pretty old, but pretty good brake sets. And yeah. And then we have the shifter, which actually goes into there, which is the group set. But we'll go to that later. Then there's another controls for the group set. Yeah. And then we have a Scott stem, which is a pretty long stem. It is 60, almost 60, isn't it? Yeah, 60. It's 60mm in length. And we have a cat eye speedometer on top of it again. So yeah, basically shows you the heart rate monitor, shows you like distance, speed of your bike, and yeah, very good. So moving on to the fork of the bike, the fork suspension. We have a Fox 32mm suspension with 120mm travel. And it's a Kashima coat. It's the white variant. So this is also basically a 2018 series version for fork. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the seat post. We have a Scott seat post, and attached on the end we have a WTB saddle. It's a WTB Rocket 150 series. Yeah. Then we have assortment of ball cages, which is this one, which happens to be Merida. It's a very good ball cage. It actually holds up for a while. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the group set. The group set is pretty old. It's 2012 again. It's a 2012 group set. It's an XT. But in 2012 they have this like 3x10, so we have a 10-speed sprocket here, and also this is like a 3x, so you have 3 chain rings, front chain rings, so you can switch between that. And we have set this to like the heaviest. That means this guy is in full speed mode. And you can see on the rear derailleur, it's actually a pretty long rear derailleur. It's very good. And attached on the crank of the DRE XT, we have a fun pedal. This is a small platform pedal. It's pretty old, but still grips. It's very good. Yeah. And then moving on to the rotors. This is actually the Avid rotors. This thing actually is quite a while. This is like 12. How many is like 2012, 2020? 8-year rotor. That's an 8-year rotor. Still grips. Let's move on to the hub, shall we? So the hub that we use is it's a fast ace hub, which actually is matching with the wheel sets and the reds and everything. So it just gives color. It's very cool, and it's a very nice hub. And moving on to the wheel sets, we're gonna talk about the rims first. The rims, DT Swiss D540. It's an old wheel set. It dates back to 2012, and yeah, it's very good. And we have Shelby rocket runs on the tires. That completes the wheel sets, and this rocket run actually holds better than the Max Light because these are much more thicker than the Max Light, and it's more like robust punctures. Yeah. So these are all the bikes and Hardtail's family. Yeah, that one's my mom's, that's mine, and that's my dad. Okay. So that's all for the bike check. Hope you are entertained. Hope you are like have good information about Hardtails, and I hope that you enjoy the video. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for riding with me, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!